Hello and welcome to StackMoxie. Today I'm going to show you how to build a spreadsheet trigger from start to finish. So the first step is going to be to create our template. So to do that, we're going to click Create Scenario, and we're going to want to create it from scratch. And in this case, I want to be able to check my webinar forms and workflows are working as expected. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is navigate and fill out a form. And I'm going to go ahead and add my URL as a placeholder. And this step will scrape the page and fill out the form. And so the next thing I'm going to want to do is add my check steps. So I'm going to want to make sure first that the lead actually got into Marketo and that that email address is set. So I'm going to go ahead and use that any email token, since that's the token that is being used to fill out this form. And then I'm going to want to make sure that the email address is set. And then I'm also going to want to check that there's an acquisition program set on the record. And then I'm going to want to check a lead's activity. And I'm going to want to check that they got added to a Salesforce campaign. So again, I'm referencing that any email token. I'm going to look for an add to Salesforce campaign. And I want that to be included within the last 35 minutes. And then I'm also going to check another activity, and I'm going to want there to be a change in status progression. And again, I'm going to want that to be included in the last 35 minutes. And then at this point, you may want to add some wait steps to mimic the timing of your workflows in Marketo. So for example, you might want to put a 5-minute retry on your email to give it another 5 minutes if it doesn't find the email at first. I may want to move my change in program status up because that add to Salesforce may happen a little bit later. And this one I might want to add another retry to in about 15 minutes. So it'll retry and look for that add to Salesforce campaign in 15 minutes. So now I'm going to want to make this into a template. So I'm going to turn this on right here, and I'm going to lock the fields that don't change. So this one I'm going to keep unlocked. That way I can input a different URL. And so I actually don't need these form fills right here because it's going to scrape the page and fill it out automatically once I input that URL in the spreadsheet trigger. Now I'm going to make sure I want all these fields locked, and I'm going to make sure that all these fields are grayed out. That'll make sure that these fields are locked. So I'm just going to turn off this metadata right here and make sure everything is grayed out. I'm going to do this for all of the steps that are not going to change. So again, turning off that metadata and making sure all these steps are grayed out. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and name my template. And then I can select a folder. So for demo, and then I'm going to go ahead and save my template. And now is when I'm going to want to create that spreadsheet trigger. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to Spreadsheet Builder. And then here is that template that I just created. I'm going to want to click these 3 dots. I'm going to want to generate a script. And we're going to do Google Sheets. And I'm going to use an existing spreadsheet that I had already created. So I'll go ahead and select a folder. And then you can see that it'll tell you that the name of the scenario should be in column A, that navigate to a website step should be in column B, and then the run checkbox will be in column C. So I'm going to go ahead and generate script. Then I'm going to go ahead and copy it. And you can see I have my spreadsheet trigger ready to go with the name of scenario at A, the URL at B, and the run at C. And then the rest of these fields here are going to always be the same. So now I'm going to go ahead to extensions and go to app script. And this is where I'm going to paste that script that I just copied. I'm just going to delete what's there, paste that script, and then I'm going to want to press save project. And then I'm going to want to go to triggers right here. And now this is where I add the trigger. So I'm going to click add trigger. And I do want this to be on edit. And then I'm going to click save. And it's Probably not going to work the first time because it's going to want you to verify your account. So then I'll just press save again and it's going to navigate away. And then I'm just going to select my account and allow permissions here. And that should do it. And so my spreadsheet trigger is ready to go. All I have to do is make sure name of scenario is filled out. So I'm just going to put test 1, and then I'm going to go ahead and input that URL for my webinar. And then I'm going to click run. And now StackMoxie is going to automatically deploy that test that we had made earlier as a template. And it's going to navigate to that URL, fill out the form, and then make sure the email got into Marketo, that there is an acquisition program set, and that they have a change in program status, and that they're added to a Salesforce campaign. And so here is the run log that I can click into, and here is a public run log. So if someone doesn't have a login and you want to send them the scenario, they can. And then once this is finished running, I do have to give it a couple minutes to run. I can click on check outcome, and it'll give me the outcome of that scenario, whether it passed or failed. And if it did fail, it would give me the first failed step. And I'm going to go ahead and click into this test to show you what it looks like. And you can see that it navigated to that page. It filled out the form with these fields here, and then you'll see that it's going through those check steps I added to make sure my workflow is working the way that I want it to. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.